Yo, what's happening, everybody? It is I, the Most High, my tag team partner, Chidi, a.k.a. Chidi Bang, and we are Reasonable Wrestling, man. What's happening with you, man?
What's good? No, nothing. We're good. We're good. You know, it's been a good week. We're here to talk some wrestling. We're here to, chop it up. You know, we are the Underground of Professional Wrestling podcast. If you know, now you know. This is where you're going to get your wide scope, reasonable wrestling takes. Hop on EIWshop.com. Purchase a shirt. You got everything is wrestling popping off right now.
Come on.
And please show them the papers. Go out there and purchase.
Oh, you got them right there?
The joint roller, Ayatollah papers.
Come on. Every camera.
On EIWshop.com and cop some papers. If you don't got your size, we got you soon coming up. We're going to fix that. But what you can at least do is support and cop some papers because I know y'all smoke.
No, y'all just like smoke, yeah. I mean, so like my homie said, we got king size wise for you. I know a lot of papers out there is king size slim, so I gave you an extra centimeters pause on the width, you know what I mean, to make you a little bit more girthier joint. Pause, you know what I'm talking about? So we smoking big Ayatollahs, joint roller Ayatollahs, and if you fuck with wrestling, then you know why that name is synonymous, because, you know, yeah, I mean, but outside that, man, we chilling, dog. You know, we're here on our bi-weekly, bi-monthly. That's what it is.
Right now, it is bi-monthly.
Bi-monthly.
We do have a Patreon, so also support the Patreon.
Come on,
because we have a lot of extra content you can get on there. If the bi-monthly just ain't enough for you guys, and you want more reasonable takes, you want some people who really have nuanced conversations about wrestling. Nuanced conversations.
Dropping bombs.
Then you can get some more reasonable takes on the Reasonable Wrestling Patreon, patreon.com/Reasonable Wrestling. So, with that being said, let's go right into the show.
What's happening?
The news that broke yesterday. Sad to report. I'm sure you guys all heard it already. But Bayley has been injured training. You know, she right now, like we said, Bayley is a bona fide veteran. She's a bona fide foundation of the current women's division in wrestling right now in WWE. And to see that she has now, she's been injured, training to get prepared for her I Quit match, it was a travesty. They're saying that she might be out for 9 months, which is, it sucks because she might potentially miss WrestleMania. And that's where I felt like, oh, fuck, because people get injured all the time. But she just was hosting WrestleMania where she was, the ding dong thing with Hulk Hogan and everything, but she didn't get a match, and then this.
She didn't have. My thing is, I don't.
No, you gotta say.
She didn't have a match because she wasn't as relevant as she was. She wasn't relevant for the card, but like you said, she was important enough to be on the card.
Ding
dong hello thing and everything like that. What I was gonna comment on is that not so much WrestleMania, or she's gonna project miss 9 months for WrestleMania. I don't even know projection-wise, character-wise, or who's gonna. We see SmackDown moving very quickly of who's gonna be there, and the shifting of the guard. Shout out to Joe Herbert from the Distraction Fightful. I be running into a little bit of shit with RSS, SRS, or whatever the case may be. But I fuck with a lot of people over there, and he had a take yesterday about how the NXT women's division making their imprint on the roster is good.
No, absolutely.
And so, I'm looking at it right now. Bayley was the last of the standing of the old guard. Bayley was the last person, like you say, how valuable
right now,
she is.
The only active woman in the Four Horsemen is Charlotte, and she's the only one. She's on Raw.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Right now there's an influx of new talent. Sorry, girls, Carmella, all the other girls who could have made their mark during this time. Obviously, Carmella's gonna have a match with Bianca, but these new girls coming in, and they're serious, man. Like these NXT girls that are coming in, we talk about it every week. NXT had the best women's division in wrestling right now, and I don't think that is even a question. I think that if you hating on that, then I don't know what to tell you. They're the most relevant women's division. It's just NXT.
Listen, I understand
You
niggas
know?
watching Deonna Purrazzo and Mickey James, and I feel you on that.
They
like,
probably wouldn't even tell you that NXT get busy. They get busy, yo. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, and they're young upcoming people, girls and stars. We got Rhea Ripley now, women's champion. Bianca Belair, SmackDown women's champion. Tegan Knox and Shotzi just debuted on SmackDown.
Toni Storm's
coming up there. So we have an influx of talent, but it'd be remiss to not mention that, Bayley missing out and being able to groom these girls on the main roster like she did for Bianca and giving her that rub is important. Who are they gonna rub against? And if everybody at the top is also new, trying to get their status up.
I will say this. I will say this. As important and how I would say the immediate reaction for me was Money in the Bank with Bayley. You see what I'm saying? Because as you projected for WrestleMania, I wanted the immediate payoff to the icon, because what my mindset, and this is sorry Bianca, but creatively, and I know a lot of marks is like what I would do or whatever the case may be, but I would have loved to see some of the callback spots from previous I Quit matches, and possibly have Bianca drop the title, paying homage to Rocky and Mick Foley, with having maybe Bianca gets knocked out by Bayley or some shit,
and
she puts up I Quit. I had a visual Bayley can do that run, and in front of live crowds, Bianca can then chase in front of live crowds. You know what I mean? So I had that envision of see what creatively they will be able to pull off, because honestly, they are two unique athletes with two very unique minds in the business. And so, not to go in there to compare them, but to see what they put a little twinge on. You know what I mean?
You know what? I feel like with Bianca and Bayley, they have such great chemistry that not only did Bayley elevate Bianca, obviously as a new up-and-coming star in WWE, but I think Bianca was finally level to elevate and make Bayley important again too. Not that Bayley didn't have the whole pandemic era, with Sasha, but I was feeling like she was waiting for Sasha to come back. When Sasha came back, they had their shtick, and then they had their match, and then Bayley was back to being, trying to figure out what's going on, where she was at. Bayley gave that little bit of emphasis and makes you feel like, I want to see this match. Bayley had a lot of girls that came at her when she was champion that really just weren't on her level.
That was true. That was true. Bayley had a 383-day reign, and it didn't really feel like it mattered until the end when it was time for Sasha to take it off. So she boasts on that. She boasts on that run a lot. But I do not believe that run was as successful in hindsight, as people project. So speaking of what we just came back, we didn't go nowhere. Speaking of SmackDown, that broke before SmackDown. The news of Bayley broke before SmackDown. So we was anticipating what SmackDown was going to look like for the duration of the show, and then also, a lot of people not really going to talk about it. Jimmy, what's up, Jimmy? You know what I mean? Jimmy Uso. You know what I mean? Who's going to see or try to see if Jimmy Uso was going to, find some reprimand or, get worked into the storyline with some of the things that he's been going through or some things that's been happening with him.
I honestly didn't even expect him to be on SmackDown because of what happened with his DUI. I thought they might say, hey, take some time off and figure out, what's going on with you, because this is what has stirred within a couple of years. And I don't want to get too deep into it. Everybody has their, their demons. I know I got mine. We got our vices. But I want to wish him well, first and foremost, on a real tip. On a second tip, on a creative aspect, should they include the DUI angle into storytelling? And I personally think that it's nothing wrong with doing that because we've seen it done in the past with Hawk and Anna. We've seen it with Jeff Hardy.
I'm not going to lie. This is where I love racial stereotypes having double standards. Because, throwing a black nigga business out there when, black nigga business already been out there, you feel me? Do you throw salt in the wound at that time? And
they did it. So case in point, they steered clear from it. He brought him in, they gave him a hug, it's all about family. They're going to be, even, only a little bit of reference was Jay was saying, during this time, even during hard times, I got your back, and that's real brother shit, and I believe that they're not touching on it right now out of respect for Jimmy or John. I believe that that's respectful. Now, me personally, I say there's no double standards when it comes to this business, and if you're willing to do that for somebody who's white, why not be able to do it for somebody who's Samoan or black, whatever you want to say, and put it and eventually, what I personally would like to see is.
Do you trust WWE to be tasteful? Because back in the day, they weren't tasteful. So
I trust them to. Since they didn't do it this week, yeah, I do. I feel like there's a way to do it tastefully, where it's just what I want to see eventually, because we've seen the dissension between Jey and Jimmy on how they approach Roman being the tribal chief.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Jimmy get exiled from the family.
For what?
Whatever storyline telling they gotta do for him to become a face, for him to become a baby face, a strong baby face. My whole thing is Jimmy has such great personality on the microphone. I see a strong baby face in him, and he's great in the ring as well. I think that he can be a United States champion.
What makes you? And I want to control. What makes you think Jimmy's that with not seeing Jimmy as much as you see Jey? Because Jey has been in front of you for like a year straight.
I can go get my tea. I got the whole, go get him tea. I'm gonna get him tea because I respect Jey, but I can't front. Jey on the mic is different than Jimmy on the microphone. Jimmy on the microphone, he has a different swagger to him, And I'm not saying that, Jey's bad or anything. I think that I want to see a Jey versus Jimmy feud one day, and this is how you get there. You get there by him being exiled from the family and saying, oh, you don't represent us anymore. And I'm not sure how you do it. I'm not saying you got to even bring up the DUI thing. Maybe he loses a match. Maybe he messes up Roman's reign, or maybe he messes something up and he messes up the tag team championship, he loses the belt, or whatever it may be. Jimmy getting exiled and Roman attacking him, and then Jay's like, whoa, what's going on? And then Jey goes and attacks him too, and he jumps on him like it's a pack of dogs, and they put him through a table or whatever it may be and say, listen, you're a disgrace to the family, you're out of here, That right there gives me a little bit of like, that's real storytelling to me. That's real storytelling that you don't even got to address head on what really happened in real life, but you can get the notion of, oh, okay, now he's on his own, he's going to have to figure his shit out. And when he takes
this
time,
is an impromptu book. I think this is a book and a half book. This is a book and half. Right?
Booking some more.
I mean, my thing is, where does Jimmy? And this is totally like rant. Like this wasn't on a runchy. Where does Jimmy and Jey go separately?
Well, Jey as a right hand man to Roman has been hinting that he trusts Jey more than Jimmy already. You stay backstage, Jimmy. I got this. And then Jey's like, I'm looking for your brother. I need Jey. He's hinting that. So I think the little tea leaves they've been planted are seeds of dissension down the line that we can play into maybe a Jey versus Jimmy match. So I'm really dead ass feel like. When it comes to these, they're all very charismatic. They all can go in the ring. What I want to see eventually is that happen. I want to see that the family dissension blow up. Right now, them being a unit makes it even more impactful when they do break up. Just like the ship.
Damn. See, when I watch that and I'm like, yo, I need the forever bloodline. I need
forever. There's no such thing as forever.
But I need
in wrestling.
I need either Jimmy and Jey to separate from Roman, or they stay together.
Nah, I need the Jey versus Jimmy match at WrestleMania or something. I need brother versus brother. That has drama into it. That's drama right there. That's storytelling.
Now, can they have the match and them not break up? Is there a way that they can do? Let's say we look at Rey Mysterio, like the Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. They went into WrestleMania against each other. Of course they broke up down the line. I was going to say, tag team champions have wrestled each other, but brothers, I don't know. I don't want to see Matt Hardy and
Bret Owen, Edge Christian, whatever you want to say. They always have a built-in storytelling where it just works, bro. It just works. Matt Hardy and Jeff, they broke up too, and they had a storyline where Matt Hardy was plotting and scheming and blew him up and shit, and then he found out later on it's all Matt behind it all. Like, that is just built-in drama that you can't, if you don't tell that story, you're missing out on something. And it's like, oh, I don't want them to be the New Day. I've been waiting for Big E heel turn for years. I might never get that. But you better give me a Jey versus Jimmy feud, because that shit right there is going to make me tune into a pay-per-view, and I'm going to want to see how they link up and you know, in a singles match. And I'm sure they want to do it too. I'm sure they want to have that match one day.
I would love for them to have that match, but like you say, respectfully,
I want there to be stakes, though. I want there to be like a reason
like,
why they're having it.
Yes,
you know,
that's what I'm saying.
You know, if he wins the match, you know, he's back part of the bloodline. I don't know what you want to do about it, but then after the match, they can hug and get back together. I don't care.
So, so let's just, since we're here for SmackDown, the booking of the show, the beginning of the show, end of the show. How did you like the beginning? I love Jey coming. I popped Jey coming
back. You want to roll on this one? Because I can't do it while talking. He's a joint relax one, not me. Not me. He's a joint relax. I'm gonna be honest. I got a contract like a motherfucker. Like, all right, I'm fine. Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, with the show, Jey coming back. I pop for Jey. They bring Jimmy back into the family. It seems like a cohesive unit. We see now Roman kind of gaslighted everything and worked a kind of maniacal plan, to have his family manipulated.
Yeah.
With that being said, is he manipulating the situation correctly with Edge? I mean, I know Edge gonna get the fuck up out of here. I know that. Now, like that. Like, at the end of the day, like, Edge is not beating Roman. Like, Edge not taking the title from Roman.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I say that because I know that you're right, but I don't put it past WWE to swerve us at any point when it comes to certain people. And granted, Edge is a veteran, and I don't see him being the one to take Roman, to be the one to take the title off him. But if they did, I wouldn't be mad. If they did it in a way that was creative, with the Jays and Jimmy, maybe, costing Roman the title, or maybe, Seth, costing Edge the match and then Roman wins it, that's cool too. I don't know how they're going to get to Edge versus Seth, but I want to see that. Or maybe Seth wins Money in the Bank, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I believe that Roman and Edge, regardless one-on-one, is a match that is worthy to there be some kind of doubt. Unlike Ray versus Roman, granted, at WrestleMania you picked Edge to win, mind you. I picked Roman. You picked Edge to win WrestleMania, so why can't Edge win here?
I mean, going off of hindsight being 2020, I thought that they were going to do a certain storyline.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank. That's a B show for a swerve. That is. Now,
you're right.
A swerve for Vince to make niggas know that their money is worth it. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about business wise.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen if you pull up, nigga. Mm-hmm. Like, you may think, like, we saw those two black niggas smoking weed talking about this shit ain't gonna work. We gonna make, you know what I mean? Like, Vince can fucking pull a trigger. You feel me? So, with that being said, like, but I think WrestleMania would have been the moment to crown Edge, and then we kind of moved into the storyline of Edge and do something with Edge.
Yeah.
This tribal chief thing, I really think that with the stories of Cena having the time off, you gotta have Roman Cena. You can't do it at Great Balls of Fire or wherever the fuck they did it last time. That shit gotta be ran out of SummerSlam. It gotta be ran out of SummerSlam.
The story going right now around is that Cena won't be there at SummerSlam, and Brock is not guaranteed either. So I don't know what they got planned for SummerSlam.
I don't know what. Okay, I don't have my sources. The thing. We're gonna let this ride out real quick. I don't have my sources right now about who reported what, but I do know that Brock ain't missing no payday in Vegas. I can get, bruh. I don't know what I have to bet or how I have to bet DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever, nigga. Brock ain't missing Vegas.
Okay.
And we can book that.
But Cena might, because he's having a movie that's going to be shot this summer.
Well, that's what I was. Now, that's why I said I don't have my sources. Cena's is cleared, from what I understand, from shooting obligations for the summer. So it'd be idealistically for Roman to send that nigga packing for his promotional fall tour.
Okay.
That's my. I'm like, again, shout out to Pete talking about fans and shit like that. But if I am trying to schedule shit and make the most, maximize money, shit like that, Roman sending Cena off to do promotional tours on fucking Fast 9 and fucking Suicide Squad 2, and then solidifying himself.
Yeah.
That's money to me. That's money to me. So.
I think he's actually filming a different movie though. Like, that's what I heard, but I could be wrong. I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't know people's like
you said, it's business, right? Like you said, right?
With that being said, if they, for instance, granted, we don't know if for instance Roman and Cena can't be done this summer, why can't Edge be champion going into SummerSlam and have a rematch with Roman, or have a triple threat with Seth or something like that?
Edge. I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep it funky right now, and that's because yes, fans saw their booking and they're gonna stick with it, and they're gonna be upset if they don't get it. Edge Roman 2 at SummerSlam, not what you think it is.
Edge Roman Seth.
Okay. Edge Roman SummerSlam 2.
I get it, because they're trying to make this the biggest WrestleMania event, and what we want is Bobby, Brock. You want Cena, Roman. I hear you.
Or
I want Seth and Edge.
Or you can give me Seth and Roman.
Seth and Roman?
Edge can't be part of it.
I got you.
Like my thing is now. That's my thing now. So Edge going into SummerSlam as champion, triple threat with Roman Reigns and a Money in the Bank cash-in of Seth Rollins. Now we have a duplication of what we had 6 years ago, and Roman never got his just due after that.
I mean, if Seth doesn't even win the Money in the Bank, you can still put him in the match and figure out a way to get him in there.
Correct.
So I hear you, and I'm just trying to see where we at, because we have options. People act sometimes like it's all written in stone. Like, this is it. We have Roman, Brock. I mean, we got Roman, Cena, Brock, Bobby, and then if we don't get it, fans are like, I'm gonna be honest.
Even if it ain't Roman Cena, Roman Drew will be better than Roman Edge and Seth. Roman Drew 2.
How the hell do you get Drew to SmackDown? How the hell do you make that happen?
Well, I'm okay. You spoke of replaying everything. You spoke of last week. Drew can win Money in the Bank, right? That's right. And you automatically was like, oh, Drew can go after Bobby or whatever the case may be. Drew may win Money in the Bank and can go after Roman because that Survivor Series match slapped.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or we can we see people coming up in the roster. We don't know if roster switching around like that. I do visualize things bigger than Edge being in the marquee.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like, Edge got his pop out Royal Rumble. Edge got his WrestleMania return.
I'm gonna say this though.
You know what I mean?
Edge, him getting bigger and more. He took the time off. He got a little more muscle on. He has an aggression about him. I know you're not feeling his promos. I think they're not that bad.
They're not that bad. I mean, they're. I mean, now the thing about it, I'm not okay. Edge's promos are only repetitive because they're repetitive. They're coming back. He did this. He said it already. He said it already, and then he did the move already. He did the move already.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And the progression of the storyline is Roman scared of Edge? Is Edge in Roman's head? Roman's up there watching.
But that's what they have to do. Roman's been unpenetrable this entire time. Correct. So he has somebody that's on his level, or to some degree can penetrate that steel armor of that force of untouchableness. And
I'm not trying to be too smart here and say, well, because they're booking it this way, then that means Roman is going to win. Because realistically, that's what we would. That's what we would think.
Play contrarian and be like, benefit of the doubt, because I don't want, if we don't get what we want as fans, to then be pissing and moaning, because SummerSlam is still going to be lit. It's still going to be great. And with Edge's performance since he's been back, first of all, I wanted to tip my cap to him, because, you know, coming back from an injury after all these years, we don't know what that's like. We don't know what he's risking every time he's out there. And he's been putting on great performances.
Correct.
And at his age,
correct,
I still believe that he could be champion, believe it or not. Unlike certain people like Goldberg and, you know, I don't want to see that again. You know, like Edge, I can see him holding the belt and being credible at his age. And I don't know, I can't say it for everybody. Thank you very much. Join Royal Art Twitter. Go cop the papers, man. Look at this shit, man. Look at this shit, man. Go cop it.
Big doinks, you feel me?
For real.
Big
That's
doinks.
a lighter.
Yes, sir.
But, you know, the more and more I see Edge, the more and more I actually kind of want to see him hold the belt again. You know, I'm like, I'm kind of rooting for the guy. And maybe they're working me, but hey, that's what we're here for, to get work, have fun watching wrestling, and to predict and see how things turn out. At the end of the day, I'm very entertained all around with SmackDown. I keep saying that right now it's the best thing in wrestling. I know NXT is great too. We'll get into a conversation about AEW in a minute. But right now, SmackDown, from show to beginning to end, kind of makes me feel like the way I used to feel watching wrestling and saying, oh, things are flowing. I kind of feel like they're putting shit together in the right position. You know, they're trying to. The only thing I think the gap in SmackDown has been what they're doing with Otis and Chad Gable. I don't know where they're going with that. But I do say this: if you see Otis on TV and you are flipping the channel, you're gonna stop and say, "What is this guy?" You know, he grabs your attention. So and now we're rolling loud. You know, taking the PG crowd and saying, you know, we're gonna cross ground with something that's not necessarily so PG. Look at Sha'Carri Richardson just got popped for weed, and everybody's going up because it's fucking weed, man. Like, I'm pissed. Like, it's a travesty that she can't perform and do her thing. And granted, it's rules, all that shit. Fuck the rules. Well, we know what this is now.
I understand that now, and this is where I would not here not to be devil's advocate. Administratively,
it's not fair.
Administratively, it's not fair because the administrative has not changed the policy.
Yeah.
So, you know, for like, and this goes back.
A lot of these people got rule makers. They're smoking weed themselves.
Well,
they're investing in THC companies. And I get it. And I get it. Like, it's the rules. It's the rules. It's the Olympics.
Who created the rules that it's a 90-day clause if I release you? That's a rule in your contract that your ass should not agree to when you sign a contract. We saw Aleister Black because administratively there was a hiccup. So there does need to be, like we say, when something happens, there needs to be a collective whole scope look at what do we do administratively. Bitch, you release me. Why I gotta wait 90 days to fucking work?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
That's on them to say, like, and that's on them to sign. And I think when you leave NXT, you have the choice to be like,
but that's what Sha'Carri Richardson. When you, I know situational.
Mm-hmm.
I know, bro.
No, I get it. Sha'Carri did break the rules.
So when we talk about,
I mean, with it being said, like, hopefully in 4 years, you know, she goes out there and kills it, and she gives her motivation to go out there.
Bro, 4 years off your life, that is.
Yeah, you know. So she gets out there in 4 years and goes out and kills it. But right now, she's missing time. She's missing all that time, and she at least, you know, she got the. You know, her brand deals are staying weird, so she's making money during this time. But to win a gold medal would have been crazy, you know. So and to bring it back to WWE,
well, keep it
with the 90-day clause and all that shit, it's on the wrestler per se. And mind you, Sha'Carri just had a mother pass away, so I get it.
Hold on, and the Olympics might not even happen, so this might be off or not because Corona. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So,
I didn't think about that.
So Japan just shut down.
Word.
Yeah.
Isn't that where you're supposed to have it?
Yes, you didn't see the news. Yeah.
No.
Japan shut down, so that's why I said all this might be for naught, which might give the administration time to kind of change it. So by the time Sha'Carri can run, let's say they redo it in 2 years or whatever, case Summer Olympics or something like that.
Yeah,
their administration might be different.
If it's a 30-day thing, I mean,
you mean?
Sha'Carri might be able to do her thing.
So you know,
it's a wrestling, but we talk real shit here. You know, but yeah, you know, with the, I think that people have the right to make their own, like we talked about self-ownership.
Yes.
Make your own choices for yourself, whether it's, hey, I'm going to go over here and smoke weed, whether it's, hey, I'm going to sign this paper that says if I leave here, which one day you're going to leave that company, I can't wrestle again for 90 days. I mean, you might, depending on what that number is, One's like, this is gonna change my life for the right moment. I'm gonna take that, and then I will just have to figure out what I do during
in 90 days. Yeah.
Like Braun Strowman is doing right now, or Buddy Murphy, whatever. But who did not have to deal with that is Tommy M, Aleister Black, Malachi Black, whatever you want. And JR said, whatever the hell we're calling him. I was like, oh God, JR, I love you, man. Whoever he is.
If I didn't want to be at work was a person, my nigga.
No, but that's what makes AEW so special. Like, because JR is still giving us classic commentary. He's just completely different JR. This is like old JR. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
This ain't old school JR. This is just
old JR. Yo, this ain't old school JR. I love it. Like, the more and more he's doing like these little crazy remarks, I'm like, yo, JR is legendary, and he's still killing it.
Yo, shout out to fucking AEW. That was the show we watched previously to fucking SmackDown. And
Khan was on Tony Khan.
Tony Khan. So speaking of Battle of the Khans, you know what I mean?
Battle of the Khans.
Tony Khan was on Dan Le Batard. I love the Dan Le Batard, man. Shout out to Dan Le Batard show, man. I absolutely.
He's killing it.
He's been killing. But Tony Khan was on there, and he talked a lot of, Dan asks us journalism questions that Tony doesn't shy away from. Clearly. Him being in the NFL and things of that nature. He spoke about how the Urban Meyer thing happened and how actually Charlie Strong is a wrestling fan. Urban doesn't watch wrestling, but Urban was down to fucking do it. And actually, Urban was at the show where Shaq went through a table, and Urban didn't know shit and pop. So like it was a good interview of insight of what AEW is, and it's exactly what people project it to be online. Like, I do know a lot of people are saying that they're homeristic. We talk about Eddie Kingston and shit like that, but like, you do bat for your team. You know what I mean? Like, and it seems like AEW it seems like AEW has an environment that you want to go to bat for. Like, you don't want nobody shitting on my environment because my environment is good. You know
when it comes to Eddie Kingston and his promo a couple weeks ago about how, the other side and what they're doing and everything. My whole thing is, and we love Eddie Kingston here. We've been to his house twice. We filmed 2 podcasts there. Shout out to you, Eddie. We would love to have you on the pod.
Love to have you on the pod.
I think Eddie Kingston, as a wrestler, is one day going to be AEW champion. I've said it multiple times on this podcast before. And I believe that he's right now becoming better and better. We already know he's killing on the mic. And better in the ring. He's almost, he had a match with the Young Bucks, with Penta. And he just brings an authenticity when you hear this guy, when it comes to Eddie Kingston. However, in a couple of years, if you're like, yo, my contract's almost up here, it could be a day where you show up at NXT and the place goes crazy because Eddie Kingston's out there to wreck shop. And that promo is going to look real suspect, put it that way, at that point. So with Bully Ray making commentary on it, it's like, don't talk about it unless you've been there. No, I get where Eddie was coming from. Like, he's making shit hot. He wants to just talk shit and make it fun for the fans. They're back in town, and with the fans first being there, that passion, you're just gonna go out there and just talk, freestyle, say whatever the fuck, and that's what we love him for.
And I think Eddie does. And I was like, yo, I was gonna be like, yo, I wouldn't have said it because I don't know what the future may hold. But Eddie probably know deep down in his heart, 20 years. But who would have thought Styles would have won? You feel me? Like, who would have thought Sting would have pulled up and got a check there? You know what I mean? Like, so we wanted it. We you know what I mean? And like you just said,
and pretty much the promo's not going to age well. But granted, I love the conversation.
We didn't think Riddles did the same thing about Triple H, and you know what I mean. The next thing we know is that
that's his best bud. Like when Riddle got to NXT, I know. Like Triple H loves Riddle, but at the end of the day, when you finally get to WWE and you're working with WWE, it's different than actually, when you're working for the other team. I know if I was working for any wrestling company, whether it be MLW, ROH, TNA, Impact, I'm gonna sit there and rep my team harder than anything I have than ever, because that's where I'm employed for one. That's where I make my bread. But not only that, I want that place to succeed. So it continues. You build a bond there, you build a family, you build an environment with your coworkers, and you want to see that place grow. so that you
mean, it's growing. You see Malachi Black appears. Andrade had his fucking debut.
I said it on Twitter.
I can see why Jay I was calling her WWE. Goddamn.
No, but here's the thing. What makes AEW different is that look at the two guys in the main event though. They're not WWE products. And I'm just talking about Eddie Kingston. He's not WWE product. So they got a mixture of people that left WWE.
Correct.
And with Alistair and Andrade in particular, they haven't even reached their peak as performers.
No.
So they still got more to go. So when I look at AEW,
and I love AEW with the creativity because maybe we'll see more of the intellect and the creativity of a Malachi Black.
and see where he goes with that because I think that his look, his vibe, what he's trying to bring to the table.
Did you see his Instagram video?
Yes. I mean, I saw images. I didn't see the whole video.
Oh my! It's 4 minutes of gold. I wish we talk about as a production company, like.
Shout out to us.
That was your Black March production.
Yeah, if you want to come shoot some more vignettes, we
got
you here in Florida.
But that shit was Josiah was in there and shit like that. It was dope. It was dope. And with the progression of a Malachi Black and the projection that we have for him. Okay, he's an AEW. We're looking at the top of that card now. We're talking about Andrade. We're talking about Kenny. We're talking about Miro. We're talking about fucking Deathhawk and Lance Archer and Lance Archer and Malachi will fucking slap.
Ooh, yo,
that'll be hard him like shit.
And now they're looking at them putting pieces together, and they're coming up to 3 years now.
So they're on their second year.
This is their second year. Yo, that's not bad. That's not bad to know that. At this point, at least I'm not sure you were there. I'm at the point where I'm looking at AEW. If they can put on a show like they did last week on a consistent basis, obviously they can with a lot of, the first fans were back,
the debut,
Miami, the debut.
Yeah,
you can't have that much, and because the week before that it was a little bit of a dud. But if you can let that be your bar, like I'm trying to hit that, and what you did with Shaq, that episode I thought was a really good episode. When you guys put your creativity in the right places as a company, they can really be an alternative for a very long time. And with that being said, we're going to see a lot of wrestling moments in AEW that are going to matter. Speaking of wrestling moments, like I said a second ago, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, where do you stand with that? Because I'm in a place right now where I'm like, I told you a long time ago, Hangman's not there yet. He can't be AEW champion out for it. And I think that at this point, they've gotten to a place where fans, they really want to see him as AEW champion. Like and they built it gradually.
Do they want to see Hangman be champion, or do they want the championship off of Kenny? Because I
think that there's plenty of people that definitely want to see Hangman because when he's gone through this whole thing with the Young Bucks and Kenny, where he's got to kind of get ostracized and he's not one of the elite, and he went through his drinking thing and he's still doing that, and then he has to find this misfit band, and they're trying to gear him up to go become the champion. The reason why I think that he is the one next is whenever I see Hangman holding the ropes and Kenny is there waiting there to get the clothesline and it doesn't happen, I'm like, oh, they're building for a moment for when it does happen, it matters. And with that being said, he's never fought Kenny because they were tag team champions, they were friends in the elite. They have the connection of history that kind of like a Shawn Michaels, Triple H would have, where you're not the guy, but you're up next, but you're not the guy right now. It's my time, and I like to see that kind of play out. If you want to give it a fair shake, the match is going to be good, and if you want to look at it like, hey, they built a storyline that goes with it, that where the fans are gonna pop if, like, for instance, he kicks out of the one-winged angel or something. They're gonna pop if he pins them. They're gonna pop if Hangman finally, who day one they were trying to position him as the marquee man in AEW. He lost to Chris Jericho, and then he lost to Kenny even in the past. So when it comes down to it, he's there. I think Hangman is at the place where he is been taken seriously as a main eventer. Now, as far as him on the mic holding that title, it'll be like a first reign kind of thing, like a first reign for CM Punk or a first reign for a Kofi Kingston. They're building their main event stature, I guess you could say. You know, when CM Punk first got a main event title, he wasn't CM Punk best in the world. You know, talking shit on the mic the way he was.
No.
He was a little bit downplayed. Same way with a, you know, even Randy Orton. You know, you want to talk about their first reigns as champion. They weren't what they become. You know, and I think that Heyman's at a place where he can actually hold the title. People want to see him as champion, but you know, he still has more to do as for becoming who Hangman Page is outside of the Elite, outside of the Dark Order, as you know, a own.
I think that's where I'm at with it. So
Yeah.
you know, I think the attachment that Hangman has never been by himself is really throwing me off because can he be by himself?
Can he carry it? And that's the story
Yeah,
that
man,
he had
like-
towards this match. Can he carry the weight
Yeah.
of being AEW champion?
Without, like you said, because he's not in the Dark Order. You feel me? Like at
He's
some
not,
point,
yeah.
at some point in time, Hangman has to win. Evo Uno Hangman. Because remember when we first saw the Dark Order? God bless his soul, I love Brody. We did not know Brody was the master.
We didn't, but I could go. We can do a throwback if you want to. I'm not sure if it was recorded. I'm not sure if it was videotaped, but I said this.
When Evo Uno was out there cutting the promos, I say I like that guy.
Yeah.
I think that, and so if Evo Uno and the Dark Order turns back dark, turns back heel, turns on Adam Hangman Page, I would love that story.
All right.
I would force Hangman to kind of, like you said, detach himself, and he'll really be on the island. But
I think
want that.
Hangman versus the Dark Order will be great. Granted, but in 90 or so days, less than 90 days, there's a guy that's going to be on the market that I think that AEW has to scoop up real quick, and that guy is Brandon or Mr. Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman. That I think a Hangman Page is AEW champion, David versus Goliath against Braun Strowman or whoever he's gonna be in AEW would be a great angle, going, and that would, you know, I want to see that, you know, and then with everybody else, you got Kenny, Andrade, Alistair, Cody, you got Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, all in the mid card area towards going up to main event area. You got time to then build Hangman as a main eventer alongside Braun, who's gonna wreck shop. You know he's gonna wreck shop in AEW,
But
and then really get Hangman over as an individual.
The thing about this, though, if AEW is going to be different than what WWE is, if you have a
Hangman gotta win.
monster, yes, Hangman has to win. But if you have a monster like Braun, he has to legitimately be the havoc wreaker. See what I'm saying? Like they handcuffed Braun too many times with Brock, with Roman, where they took the teeth off of Braun, where he wasn't the monster he was supposed to be. When Braun debuts, he has to be almost like Paul White or the Giant, where he's hot shotting. You know what I mean? Like that is what's gonna happen. That has to happen.
Yeah, that's why I think that him
happen.
and Hangman will be like a David versus Goliath. I get the babyface over against this you know, havoc of a man, and
is it something like David Goliath with Adam? Is that Adam's a fucking hunk of a man?
I think if you tell the story
of
of the Giant, you know, obviously he's a
hunk
you
of a
can
man.
position it like, oh, he has to overcome such these huge odds. You know, I think a Hangman versus, you know, Braun Strowman in AEW would get both men over in a sense. You know, and I don't think Braun needs to be champion right off the bat. You know, I think that he can just be a guy who wrecks havoc for a while.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Outside of AEW, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not really a fan of the Bucks. I think we already said that already.
Plenty of times. They're
They're
not for everybody. I'll be honest.
They are for everybody, and
They're not for me sometimes.
I'm not gonna say they're not good. I don't want to go to the whole point they're not good or generational talents or great businessmen or great business minds. I don't want to do all that. They just aren't good champions.
I want them to drop it so bad.
Yes.
But I don't know who they should drop it to.
That's the thing.
I think they should drop it to Santino or Ortiz, honestly.
This is what they started this company on.
Tag
this
team division was awesome at one point.
Oh my God.
Right now, it's they keep different pairings of Death Triangle and we're not getting Lucha.
I don't know what's going on with Phoenix. I think he might be injured. Might be injured, so that's why they're doing it. But Penta Phoenix, Santino Ortiz, FTR, Luchasaurus, Private Party. Where my camera at? Why the fuck Scorpio Sky in the motherfucking tag team? Huh? Huh? The fuck, nigga? I forgot where I was at with my fucking list.
I think Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, they don't need to be a tag team right now. They're both great single stars. Ethan Page plays a great, asshole.
Ethan and Darby had a great promo.
Great promo.
Ethan's great.
He's great, yeah. So
I think
that coffin match is going to be
Here's my hot take. Ethan Page is who we think MJF is. Ethan Page is fired.
Nah, he's a good.
Ethan Page
plays a good.
Ethan Page is fired.
Douchebag, you could say. He plays a good douchebag.
Yeah.
And I think that he's gonna be a great heel for the future coming. But MJF, don't be disrespecting my man MJF. MJF right now, best entrance music probably in wrestling outside of Roman. And why do you have Scorpio Sky in a tag team? Why do you keep putting Chris Jericho and MJF together? Let's give it a rest. Chris Jericho's great. He's a legend, not only in wrestling, he's a legend in life, man. He's been a rock star. He's been freaking Dancing with the Stars. He's been on movies, world champions in all the companies he's been in, traveled around the globe, legend in fucking life, yo. Tip your cap to Chris Jericho, you're the man. But I don't want you taking the spotlight away from Sammy Guevara and MJF, who just had a great main event match. Why aren't they building that angle right now with the inner circle rather than Chris?